want to thank all of my colleagues at the Department of the Environment because a lot of the work you're going to see up here right now is not my work, but our work. So, excuse me. That being said, I'm going to ask some questions because what government does in a large part is public education. We answer questions for residents, businesses, maybe even city employees. And some of the kind of questions that we answer at SF Environment or Department of the Environment are things like, what do I do with latex paint cans when I'm done with them? Compact fluorescent light bulbs, where do they go? Plastic cups, can I recycle those? Old electronics, who wants them? Does anybody want those? I don't know. Mannequins, enough said. And who's this guy? Well, this is me a couple years ago at the statewide recycling conference with California's recycling mascot, Recycle Rex. Let's have a hand. I bring this up because I've been in the waste field for maybe 5 or 6 years now, working at a few different agencies in the Bay Area. And cogent to some of the points I'll be making later, I think as far as some of the collaborations we're talking about, it's really important to know your partners, your stakeholders, know your content. So I've been doing this for a while, and right now I'm at San Francisco Department of the Environment, or SF Environment, and we do a lot of things: energy efficiency, green building, and waste, recycling, composting, hazardous materials, and we answer a lot of questions. So to make it easier to answer those questions for the public, we've created a tool called the EcoFinder. And the EcoFinder essentially is a database of recycling services in the city of San Francisco. There's a few data points outside the city. It's for residents, businesses, and it's basically a place for them to go to figure out where to either recycle or properly dispose of materials that have reached to the end of their useful life in their household or in their office. So, started out as a web form, kind of made some iterations. This is how it looks currently. Works pretty well. People seem to like it. Certainly gets our information out there. Whoops. Enter category, subcategory, zip code, and off you go to a list of results. And we've got some important information about the particular material type we're talking about, in this case, latex paint. 23 results found for zip code 94102, free pickup, free drop-off, etc. And you can click through to look at a business profile with location information, hours of service, other materials that are accepted, etc. So that's worked pretty well for us. People think it's a pretty useful utility. But as data providers, we realized a little while back that really our value is the data itself. It's not this tool, it's not our website. You know, you can get it really attached to something you spend a lot of time or money working on. But the important part is to remember that in the government, for us, the valuable part is maintaining this data twice a year, making sure it's clean, making sure that it's relevant, and we want to be able to push that out as far as possible. So our web form works fine, but we decided about a year and a half ago to open up the data. This is the XML feed for the EcoFinder, and basically allowed us to get some really great benefit as far as services built on top of that, including an iPhone app that Chris mentioned that was built for us by a partner in the private sector here in San Francisco, Hakuwale, and as well as allowing Earth911.com, a national recycling database, to take our data and pull it into their national database, supplanting the sites that they had, which was not as accurate as the information we had, and saving us a lot of time, no longer having to pull together Excel spreadsheets, get them into their format, send them to them so that they can update their database. Essentially, this happens as frequently as they want because they built a service to suck that data in. And it's been great. Where else this data goes, we don't know. We want it to go as far as possible. So we're always looking forward to how we can improve the tool and how we can get the data out there. And you know, there's a lot of technical innovation that can happen around government services opening up the data. But I think, interestingly enough, compared to talking about the 3 pillars that Chris talked about, open infrastructure could be translated a little bit to what we're trying to do around regional collaboration, which is kind of the next step for this tool for us. We're working with Alameda County Waste Management Authority as well as the City of Palo Alto. We're in talks with San Jose and the County of Santa Clara to create a regional database, essentially reinvent the EcoFinder one way, one time, so that all these different agencies that have the same tool the same need, different tools on their websites, can benefit by collaborating together, improve upon our existing application, get more features than they would otherwise, spending the same money, standardize the user interface for everyone across the Bay Area. So if you live in Oakland and work in San Francisco, you're using the same essential tool, same mobile app, same web interface. Really push out that data, and hopefully, in the best case scenario, open source it so that other governments around the country can also benefit from our work. Benefits are pretty obvious, more features than we have now, and if we do it right, laying a path forward for continually evolving the application. I think that in San Francisco, one thing we're good at is getting publicity for the stuff we do here. So in the Bay Area, if there's a lot of governments working together, I think that we're going to get a lot more recognition for our work by partnering. And there's also some unexpected benefits that have come up that have been really wonderful. Possibility of establishing a data standard for this kind of information, which, there's all kinds of different ways that people have tackled it. But if we can figure out one way to work this data into a format that is accepted more broadly, then we're all going to benefit. And in that process, we're forced to work with other agencies that we wouldn't have otherwise, and we get to benefit from some of the lessons they've learned, as well as sharing our own lessons with them. I'm not going to say it's all easy. I've spent a lot of time on the phone around this project, and I spent a lot of time making sure I'm listening to the other stakeholders, other partners, understanding what they're doing, what they need. For a while there, I wasn't sure it was going to happen. Chris talked about government working slowly, if at all, and this is one of those situations where governments working together is kind of unheard of. So, but I'm happy to say that it is planning. I don't need to worry about contingencies because we have an RFP on our website right now to develop this tool. So I would encourage any of the developers out there in the private sector that do web app development that are good at making rock-solid platforms to be able to share data. Please come talk to me because this is one of those exciting opportunities to really open the doors of government to folks in the private sector. So in sum, open data, open source, and collaboration is really what we're trying to do with this tool. And I think it kind of overlays with what Chris was talking about. This is contact information, sf.environment.org/ecofinder. That's our Twitter. That's me, and that's my Twitter. So thank you very much.